The Lantern Keeper's Promise. Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. Feel your body sink a little deeper into your bed. You don't have to do anything now. Just listen. Tonight's story is called The Lantern Keeper's Promise. It's a story about light, about quiet nights, and about how even the smallest glow can guide you home. The beginning. Far beyond the hills, where the sea whispers to the shore and the air smells faintly of pine and salt, there was a small coastal village called Marin Bay. At the edge of the cliff stood a lighthouse, tall and quiet, with its lantern glowing softly against the night. The villagers called it the Heart of the Bay, because its light had never once gone out. Not in rain, not in fog, not even in storms that shook the sky. And the one who cared for that light was an old man named Ellis. Ellis had lived in the lighthouse for as long as anyone could remember. Every evening he would climb the winding stairs, light the great lamp, and whisper to it, "Shine steady. Someone might need you tonight." The routine. His days were simple and peaceful. He would polish the glass, sweep the steps, and feed the seagull that visited his window every morning. He had a few visitors, but that never made him lonely. The waves kept him company, the gulls greeted him, and at night the beam of his lantern stretched out across the sea like a friendly hand. Sometimes he would sit by the window with a cup of tea and think about all the ships that passed through the bay. He couldn't see them all, but he knew they were out there. Small silhouettes gliding between waves, trusting his light to keep them safe. It comforted him to think that even when no one saw him, he still mattered. The night of the storm. One winter night, the sea began to roar. Dark clouds swallowed the moon, and rain lashed against the windows like handfuls of pebbles. Ellis looked out and saw the horizon vanish in the storm. The lighthouse creaked as the wind pushed against it. The light flickered once, then twice. Ellis's heart skipped. In all his years, the lantern had never failed. He hurried up the spiral stairs, lantern oil sloshing in his hand, his boots echoing on the stone steps. The wind howled through cracks in the walls and thunder rolled over the cliffs. When he reached the top, he saw the flames sputtering weakly, fighting against the draft that forced its way through the glass. He cupped his hands around it and whispered, "Stay with me. Someone might need you tonight." And he worked, slow and careful, tightening the vents, feeding the flame, shielding it with his coat until it steadied again. Outside, the world raged, but inside there was only the soft hum of the lantern and the steady heartbeat of the keeper beside it. The morning after. When the storm finally passed, the sea grew calm again, and sunlight poured through the clouds like golden threads. Down below, the villagers found pieces of driftwood scattered along the shore, and one small wooden carving shaped like a ship. A few days later, a letter arrived at the village addressed simply to the lantern keeper. Inside was a single sentence. "Your light reached us. We made it home." Ellis read the letter slowly, smiling to himself. He folded it neatly and placed it beside his lamp, right next to the small carved seagull that always watched over his desk. The promise years passed. The village changed. New faces came, old ones left, and still the lighthouse stood. When Ellis grew too old to climb the stairs, he trained a young woman named Mara to care for the light. On his last evening at the tower, he handed her the brass key and said softly, "The sea will always need a friend. Keep it company. Keep the light steady." Someone out there might need you tonight. That night, as Mara lit the lamp for the first time, she swore she could hear Ellis's voice carried faintly in the wind, blending with the waves, gentle and calm. And from then on, whenever storms rolled in or fog swallowed the cliffs, the light of the lighthouse never wavered. It shone steady, just as it always had. Like a heartbeat, like a promise, like a friend waiting to guide you home. The ending. Now take another deep breath. The light is still shining somewhere, steady and kind. You don't need to see it, just know it's there. A reminder that even in dark nights, something is watching over you. The sea is calm again. The storm has passed. The lantern burns softly in the distance. And now, you can rest. Good night.